All right, everyone, we're going to go live here in just a moment. All right. Make sure my audio works. All right, everyone, we're going to go live here and it does. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to press record here. All right, everyone. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday afternoon. And I wanted to say thank you all for being here today. And I wanted to commend your consistency, your courage in showing up for the most, important person in your life, which is you. And what I'm here to share about today is it's all about you. Growing your business and the relationship you have with that is about the relationship with you within you. Your relationship with your spouse, your significant other, even that's a reflection of your relationship with you. Your relationship with your kids is a reflection of the relationship within you. And it's so powerful. It is so powerful when you start realizing that everything is you. Every single thing in your life is you. It's within you. It's around you. You're so powerful. You are literally ejecting, emulating, putting out energy, powerful energy every single day. And that energy from your aura, your energetic field ripples out into the universe. It really does. And it's not just about manifesting at the level of the mind. Everything is energy. You are energy, and the love that you pour into you, the trust that you pour into you, the courage you pour into you, being you as you, and taking every one of those fears and conquering them, overcoming them, showing up despite them. It's all you. And I'm going to share about my relationship with fear and how that has changed quite significantly. And this is why most personal development groups, most personal development programs don't work. Because it's not about telling yourself that you shouldn't be scared, right? Like let's talk, like I've done my fair share of Tony Robbins events and my fair share of personal development seminars. Okay. And I'm going to share my experience, and I'm grateful to Tony Robbins for the record, because he really kind of helped me come into my journey. And I'll tell you why it didn't work for me over the long run and why it doesn't work over the long run. Okay. So coming into a seminar, and basically he goes into the mind. The mind says this, the mind says, I'm too assertive. I'm too this, I'm too loud. I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy. And literally screaming at the level of the mind going, I am good enough. I am worthy. I am competent. That doesn't work. Okay. And that's why affirmations don't work either, because your mind is like BS. Like you're saying it doesn't work, or I'm not or I'm not loud. And your mind goes, well, that's BS. And I am good enough. And your mind goes, well, that's BS. And that's why that kind of incantations, affirmations, incantation is simply when you speak that, right? In Tony Robbins seminars, there's a lot of screaming incantations. It doesn't work. Because for me, I can share with you my experience. When I went through my first UPW, I came home and I was so fired up. I was so lit up, had 4 days of screaming and like trying to overcome my limiting beliefs and all of that jazz. And I come back home and my family's like, what happened to you? So there's no support from that at home. And now every time I have that thought of not being good enough or any doubt, any fear, my mind goes, wow, you should know better. How dare you? So in fact, when I came back from my first UPW, I'll be honest with you, and UPW is like his biggest platform, but that idea of spending 3-4 days on trying to overcome your limiting beliefs and being different than who you are doesn't work, because of what it led to for me was more self-rejection and feeling less than. And it was so crazy because it's December 2019, December 2019, before COVID, where I came home and I was all lit up, and it was really cool because I was exposed to coaches. So I had no idea what a coach was in that way. And to be surrounded by so many coaches that really want to serve, and they do a beautiful job. They show up with heart, they show up to love, and they show up to serve. And to be in a space where I was around people that did this in some shape or form was really enlightening. I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do that. I can do that. That's me. And so having that exposure was amazing, and I'm super grateful. The flip side was trying to tell yourself that you are not those limiting beliefs doesn't work, because it's all at the level of the mind, and our mind is really good at noticing the part of us that's an imposter, that notices the BS stories and is able to call us out on the BS stories. The mind is really great at that. So it didn't work for me. So what I'm going to tell you about today is how I have been able to change my relationship with fear and myself and my self-doubt. And I'll share with you all a few things that I've practiced and that evolution over time. And it's taken me 3 years to be able to do this and practice it pretty consistently. And it's still evolving every single day, because we're evolving every single day. Before, I would have fear, and I would go into, well, I shouldn't feel fear. I know better. And as a coach, as I help people navigate their fears and overcome their fears and step into a more empowered version of them, it almost got worse, because I was like, well, I should know better. How can I have this? And it's not okay. It's not okay. And I would should on myself. And I did a video last week. I highly recommend you checking it out last week in this group, as well as on YouTube, and my Coach Karishma Miracles with Karishma playlist. And what's happened instead is, like I said, everything outside of you is reflective of a relationship with you within you. And what that means is, if I am shooting myself on myself, if I'm judging myself for being a human, show me one human being that doesn't have fear. Show me one human being that doesn't have doubt. So this idea of I have to be perfect and I have to not have fear, do you see how that's setting me up for failure and setting me up to not show up if I feel like I have to be perfect in order to show up? That leaves no room for grace. That leaves no room for anything. And it doesn't work. And all it leads to is more suffering, more self-rejection, creating a vicious negative loop of how I feel about me. If everything is a reflection of how I feel about me, wouldn't the number one thing be to focus on how I feel about me, which in my world translates into accepting, loving, embracing every part of me? Realizing that I am the vessel, realizing that I am the future, realizing that everything I need is within me, and that I've got everything that I need within me to make the life of my dreams possible. And what's happened over time is that relationship within me has changed. And we talked about the power of vulnerability and authenticity last week. Vulnerability and authenticity isn't simply about saying it to someone else. First, you got to accept it within you. You got to realize that within you, that fundamentally within you, it's not working. I'm just gonna take a little water break here, 1 second. Fundamentally within you, something's not working. And fundamentally within you, that you're holding yourself back. Because the only person that holds us back is ourselves. That means the only person that can really empower ourselves and really make ourselves be different within us is ourselves. And, for me, that vulnerability and realizing, you know what, this isn't working, whatever this was in that moment, and seeking out support, getting that consistent support and having that commitment within me has made all the difference within me. And I'm going to share what I do now in terms of my relationship with fear. Is first of all, I have to give myself that space to face myself. I have to be able to look at myself or to be with myself, sit with myself, take a walk with myself, have space where there's no phone, there's no devices, there's no distractions, there's no children, there's no business, there's nothing in that moment, just me and me. And I get to have a really honest conversation with myself and tell myself, you know what, Karishma, right now I feel sad. I feel sad. I feel scared. I am scared that this isn't working, whatever this may be. I realize that I can't live life like this for much longer. I realize that what I'm afraid of is actually stepping into my power. And it's crazy because we're more afraid of stepping into our power and our light than we are and not. So what we think, what I hear most of the time, my clients will tell me, Karishma, I'm afraid of the unknown. And I'm afraid of failing. No. As I've gone through my journey, I'm realizing what I'm afraid of is actually becoming everything that I'm meant to be. Like, what if you could create a reality that was bigger than you would ever imagine? What if you had success more than you'd ever imagine? What would that mean about you? What would change inherently in the relationship in your life with you and everybody else in your life? And being really honest with yourself and realizing, why have I been holding myself back? And sometimes we know and sometimes we don't. Whatever the answer is, it's perfect. And having permission within us to give ourselves so much love and so much grace and so much compassion for that part of us that's scared, for the part of us that's fearful, for the part of us that feels unworthy of having everything that we want. And the more love, the more compassion, the more grace, the more trust, and the more surrender that I have within me, that's how my reality can change within ripples and ripples and ripples and ripples and ripples over time. And I shared, I don't know if I shared it here, but I shared it with a few clients like last week, I want to say. And during the period of time between my separation and my divorce, it was about 6-7 months between the time when my separation was done. We'd separated, that gave us time to get all our mediation, attorneys, all that jazz done. And there was about 6-7 month period between the separation and the actual filing of the divorce and the divorce being done. And in that period of time, my sales literally trickled to nothing. So now, for the first time in 17 years of my marriage, I was the one paying the bills. I was the one managing a mortgage and credit card bills and home expenses I didn't even know existed. Those things would always be taken care of in the back end. My ex-husband took care of all of that stuff. And I came to this complete land of the unknown where I was like, who am I? I'm not a full-time mom because now I don't have my kids all the time. And I'm not a full-time wife because I'm not married, right? And who am I? And all these unknowns, one unknown after the other, made me feel really unsafe. And during that 6-7 month period of time, my sales trickled. Everything is you. Your relationship with you is your relationship with the outside world, where there was money coming in. I was making really good money before the separation, really good money. It went to a standstill, and for almost 6-7 months, there was barely any sales. And that time for me was such a gift, because all of a sudden I had so much time with me. And here's the kicker: instead of taking on another job, to go back into survival, to go back into fear, to take on a minimum wage task, to pay the bills and get by, I looked at my money situation. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to be okay for a little while. And I'm going to take this time and to really be with me, to allow myself to feel all the grief from the divorce, allow myself to feel all the fear of being unsafe in this brand new situation in my life, and to really give myself that space to face me directly, probably for the first time in my life in that way, because all of a sudden I had all this time in my hands. And it was the scariest thing in the world. And literally within 6-7 months, the divorce gets finalized. My sales went up. Clients started pouring in. Everything started happening. As a result of me showing up for me every single day in those 6 months, 7 month, 8 month hiatus, and had to continue. It didn't just stop, right? It's not about, okay, this is a short-term thing. This commitment, consistency, accountability is me with me. And that pause sometimes, my friends, is preparation for the future. That pause is preparation for the future sometimes. And you get to say, you know what? Okay. I get to be with whatever's showing up for me. I get to have so much love and compassion for me right now because I'm scared. I get to let go, surrender all of that fear, and to trust in myself, to trust in my God, my higher power, and to know that everything is bringing me back home to me. And I'm stepping into the journey of who I'm meant to be, the journey of my soul. And it's been such a beautiful, powerful process, because what happened for me, and this is the real kicker, and I didn't realize this until a couple months ago, I want to say this year, as I was working with my bookkeeper to do my taxes for 2022. Get this, it's so crazy. It doesn't make any sense. My sales for 2021, the year of my separation, like I said, trickled to nothing for 6 months of 2021. The last 6 months, I barely made sales. Last year, I made 30% more sales than in 2021. What the hell? It's like energetically, I was all in on me. The clients came, the business came. I didn't lose my trust in me. I didn't lose my hope in me. And I'm going to tell you the other kicker. And if this can happen for me, that means it can happen for you, is my point. It's not about me telling you and sharing you a la story. If it can happen for me, it can happen for you. And I've seen it happen over so many clients now. And it all comes back to commitment, consistency, accountability. We'll talk about what that looks like here in just a minute. The real kicker, I was just sharing with my boyfriend a few minutes ago, is I got off of all the apps. I got off of everything. I was out sort of dating, not really, just sort of doing groups and social activities and this and that. And about 6 months before my boyfriend came into my life in the way that he did, I'd gotten off of every app, everything. And I said, you know what? I'm not looking for love. It's going to find me. Okay. You might call me crazy, call me delusional, call me whatever. I was like, I'm not looking for it. I'm not chasing it. I'm going to love me first, because in order for me to receive the love that I want, I have to love me first. I have to honor me first. I have to respect me first. And the beauty has been, I let go of everything. I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on loving me, hanging out with me, taking myself on dates, fostering my relationship with me, fostering my close friendships, focusing on my kids, focusing on my business that I love, and just being with me. And really fostering a healthy, loving relationship with me. And literally, I stopped doing everything in terms of any kind of efforting when it came to dating. Completely. And it was so beautiful because he just came to me. Everything that I wanted, it just came to me. My business that I wanted, you see what happened? I let go. Didn't lose trust, didn't lose faith, kept showing up for me every single day, being hyper vigilant, hyper consistent, knowing that my relationship with me is the most important thing possible. The business that I love came to me. I'm revamping my business right now, which I'm super stoked about. The love that I wanted came to me, not chasing it. It found me and it was right there. I hadn't even seen it. It was right there for me, in front of me for 2 years. And if that is possible for me, it means it's possible for you. That means if it took me 6 months, it's not going to take you 6 months. It took me 3 years to get here, to be this. It doesn't have to take you 3 years. Now you get to learn what I've learned and condense it in a short period of time so you can create those ripples in your life in the way that you want to and start creating miracles in your life, just like I did. So I'm going to drop a link here in comments below. It's my game plan call link. If you feel connected or called to connect with me and book a call, schedule one. Here to serve you. Hope to see you here tomorrow. Same time, same place. Bye.